My name is Kelly, and my paper was on conflict management styles. Conflict arises in any situation, whether it's in the workplace, school, or home. This is because of the different opinions or being forced to work with people who have different degrees, ages, perspectives, views, information, or even personal aspects, such as different religions, values, or morals. Each has its own influence in decision making, especially as a group. The Thomas Kilmann model illustrates some of the methods to responding to conflict, which can include competing, accommodating, avoiding, compromising, and collaborating. And depending on the group leader's personality style, as well as that particular situation, may influence which method is the method that they are going to use to solve the problem. Conflict is not always a negative thing that must be avoided. It can sometimes help the group communicate, brainstorm, and solve problems in ways they otherwise would not have thought about on their own. In an example, I had members from different departments of the company working together, in which the engineer comes up with a good idea. The IT person adds ideas to make it function more productively, and someone in accounting brainstorms ways to lower the cost of production. Factors that may cause workplace conflict. One of the quotes that I included are: roles must be filled as needed, and people should work together simultaneously uh, change, without constantly changing the rate of participation suddenly. Otherwise, the employees will become frustrated with the ambiguity and experience conflict. This is because even if groups do not distribute roles officially, they may fall into a role automatically based on their own expertise, and because it allows them to have a set job, guidelines, and responsibilities to follow. The size of the group is important to consider when forming groups, because although 2 to 7 group members normally works well, it has been proven that the optimum number of group members is 5. This is because group members with less than 5 members, I'm sorry, I meant groups with less than 5 members may not have enough skills and information to contribute, and groups with more than 5 members may struggle to discuss ideas and make decisions as a group. It may be a little more time consuming. In order to promote creativity and collaboration, each member must be open to different ideas and respect them. As stated by Newman in the text, healthy conflict is about issues, not personalities. Interpersonal conflict, such as personal attacks, can actually doom a team. So instead of attacking a member of the group, they should have an agreement on how to handle situations that may come up, such as missing a deadline, overall goals for the group, and even personal conflict. This also includes being realistic about the performance of the group and not overreacting and being respectful of each member of the group. Constructive feedback includes both negative and positive feedback. This is important because it promotes growth. When members of that group know they are not going to be criticized for brainstorming ideas that may or may not work, they will be more willing to share them and will be more open to suggestions for improvement. Just as the quote that I just mentioned suggested constant changes may hinder the growth of the productivity of the group, it's because it's constant changes in expectations, roles, and guidelines. Sometimes the problems an individual may have outside of the work environment may impact their performance with the group. So it's important to watch out for this because it may cause a toxic environment for the group. ensuring teamwork and effort from all members. Before bringing up an issue, make sure it's worth discussing and that it cannot be solved with a simple solution so that time is not wasted, and ensuring your understanding of that matter and the reasoning behind the idea. Working together is important, but also having your own ideas is, because conformity causes the workflow of new ideas to decrease. Working together to figure out what could go wrong as well as what could go right. And once you find those potential solutions, it's important to reflect on those solutions for future projects. That way, maybe one solution that can be used on something else, and that time could be spent on finding other ways to help that project move along more smoothly. Ways to manage and resolve conflict. As I discussed earlier, members of groups tend to organize themselves early on. One of the roles filled is the leader, whether it's an official leader of the group or an understood leader. This individual is helpful for keeping the group on task and on schedule, as well as bringing up problems and initiating the conversation for solutions for that problem. There are the 5 general methods of conflict resolution and their corresponding leadership styles. There is a strong correlation between the personality of the leader and the method they decide to approach the problem. The first one is the competing method. This is common among the authoritarian and the transactional leaders. It involves high assertiveness and low cooperativeness, which means that the leader is standing up and defending his or her own ideas without letting the others contribute their own. This is common when groups or individuals are competing for resources. The second is the accommodating method. This is the opposite of the competing method. The leader is giving in to the other people in the group's views and ideas. This is common when keeping peace in the group is more important than what the leader wants, and they want to maintain a good relationship, possibly for the next time that they get to work together. This is also common whenever the problem to be solved is very minor. The servant leader is actually one of the most commonly seen using this method. The third method is the collaborating method. This is when each member of the group brings his or her own idea, and they discuss it as a group, and the final solution typically incorporates all of those ideas. This can take a lot of time and effort, but it promotes high trust between each of the group members. The transformational leader is most commonly seen to use this method because the transformational leader is focused on attempting to align the individual's values with the group's values. The fourth method is the compromising method. This is a mix of the leader being assertive and cooperative. They actually allowed the rest of the group to have input in the decisions. But each member normally gives up something while still agreeing to the final decision. The fifth method is the avoiding method. This is the least effective, but it is commonly used when the leader believes that the problem can be solved without any attention. Sometimes this is true, and other times the problem still lingers, but because it has been set to the side, other underlying issues may come about, and this actually causes the problem to be bigger than it initially was. So, in conclusion, as long as the conflict is intellectual rather than personal, it can be controlled and viewed as an opportunity for growth and improvement.